All right, section 12.2. The arithmetic sequence. When the difference between successive terms is always the same number, the difference, then the sequence is arithmetic. Or you can say arithmetic if you want to. But it's that there's a common difference. The same number is added or subtracted, actually, either way, between terms. It's a common difference. And so the formula looks like what this is right here. A sub n equals a sub n minus 1 plus d. So any term is equal to the prior term plus some common difference. So you'll have a first term and you'll have d, which is the common difference. We will get to geometric sequences and you'll have a common ratio, but this is a common difference. Okay, can we move up a little bit? All right, so here's an example. If you had 4, 6, 8, 10, and you were just given that sequence. Number one, you would have to determine what's the common difference. Well, it's 2. Okay, just if I asked you what that was. Here's one, S sub n equals 3n plus 5. S sub 1 means you're going to plug 1 in for n. So S sub 1 is 3 times 1 plus 5, so that's 8. We don't know the common difference yet. That's not in the equation. You have to write a few terms before you can come up with what the difference is. S sub 2 is 11. S sub 3 is 14. You're plugging in whatever n is right here, and you get a number. So then you can tell, what's the common difference? 3, because there's 3 between each of them. So you really have to write at least 3 terms to make sure that you're having a common difference. Okay? This one you could see it because you just had the terms. This one you had the function, so you had to write out some terms to come up with the common difference. Okay? Questions on that? All right, there's the formula for the nth term of an arithmetic or arithmetic sequence. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So that just means the prior term, you're going to add that common difference to it. And that's really what you need to use to do the questions on the homework, is that's the basic thing, this formula. Okay?
So are they going to be like asked tonight, well, what's the 12th number?
They could. They could. What's the 50th term? And you wouldn't want to have to go through this and do each term to figure out what the 50th was. You could use this formula, and that's what we're going to do. Okay? All right. Everybody good with that? Ready for problems? We only have 6. Okay. I know Greg's happy. Okay. All right. Find the nth term of the arithmetic sequence whose initial term A and common difference are given. So it tells us that a sub 1 is negative 2 and that d is 5. Okay? So it wants you to come up with the just generic, the a sub n thing. Okay? So a sub n is a sub 1, which is negative 2, plus n minus 1 times the difference, which is 5. So that's what has to go in the first box. That's what a sub n is. You're just using the stuff they gave you and put it in that formula that I gave you on the first page. That's a sub n.
Plus 61?
What?
That's the second part.
That's another part down here. That's this part. Okay? We'll just do that. There we go. All right, so the second part of the question says, what's a sub 62? That means what's the 62nd term if you wrote them all out? Well, a sub 62 is negative 2 plus n minus 1, so that'd be 61 times the common difference. So it's negative 2 plus 305, which gives you 303. So it's a nice formula that lets you pick out whatever term they ask you to come up with. Okay?
Wait, what formula was it?
That one from the first page. You want me to go back to it for a sec?
No, go back.
Here. Right there.
I have it, but it doesn't look like it.
Are you sure?
Well, I mean,
First term plus n minus 1 times the common difference.
First term, okay. Cool.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. There are some more examples here that you can look at when you go in. For the arithmetic ones. Because we're going to get geometric too, and it's a different formula. Okay?
Not there, right?
Not today.
And it's going to say whether they're coming or not.
Not necessarily.
I don't ask you.
It might ask you, which is it? And you have to kind of maybe write some terms out and say, is there a common difference or is there a common ratio? Is something being multiplied each term? Yeah, yeah. All right, so second one here. Find the nth term. If a sub 1 is negative 3 and d is negative 5. So first it wants you to write the formula, so that's negative 3 plus n minus 1 times negative 5. You're just plugging in a sub 1 here and d here. You're just plugging them into the formula, okay? And then it wants a sub 62 of this one. Well, a sub 62 is negative 3 plus 61 times negative 5, and you should get negative 308. You're just using the formula. You really can't. Oh, you're just doing the calculation on your calculator.
This times negative 5, right?
Yes. Did you get it?
Eight through it?
Yep. All right, now the next one says find the 100th term, but it didn't give us anything except the terms of the sequence. Gave us 9, 18, 27. So in order to work on that, we've got to decide what's a sub 1 and what's d. Well, the first one, a sub 1 is 9. That's pretty easy. And then you're looking, what's the difference between each of these? 9. So d is 9. So you need to write those out, and then you can plug in and do your formula. So a sub 100 is 9 plus 99 times 9. Lots of 9s. You should get 900. Okay. So if you're given the terms, you need to establish what's a sub 1, what's d, and then you can find any other term. Number 4 has fractions. Sometimes that's not as easy for people, at least to come out with the difference. A sub 1 is 3. That's easy. Now, how did I get 1/3? Yeah, and that's okay. You can see it right here pretty easy between 10/3 and 11/3, but between 4 and that and 3 and that, sometimes people don't think in thirds. This is 9/3. This is 12/3, so there is 1/3 difference every time. and then you plug it into the formula. A sub 80 is 3 plus 79 times 1/3. Leave it as a fraction. Don't do it as a decimal. It tells you that right there to do it as a fraction. 88 over 3. Questions on that? Okay. Whoa, whoa.
No, never mind.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Got to be on your toes up here, I'm telling you. Really, really. Not well sometimes. All right. Now this is a little bit of algebra in here, so you may want to pay attention to this one. Get to that. The 9th term is 11, and the 21st term is 35. That's all they gave us. So we don't know, and it wants to find the formula. Well, to write the formula, we need to know the first term, and we need to know the common difference. The only way to do that, the best way, is to do algebra and do a system of equations. So you really have to think about that. All right, here's the basic equation that we've been using, right? We know that a sub 9 is a sub 1 plus 8d. Where'd I get that? 9 minus 1 is 8. So 9 minus 1 would go there. I don't know a sub 1, and I don't know d. So a sub 9 is a sub 1 plus 8d. Everybody okay with that? A sub 21 is a sub 1 plus 20 times d. So here's two possible equations I'm going to use. Now I know what a sub 9 is. What is it? 11, right here. And a sub 21 is 35. So I'm going to substitute 11 and 35 right there. Then you've got two equations with two variables, a sub 1 and d. We know how to solve systems of equations. You can either add, eliminate, you could graph, you could substitute. There's lots of ways to do systems of equations. In this one, I subtracted. If I subtract this whole equation, I get negative 24, those go away, equals negative 12d. So that lets me solve for the d. D is 2. Okay.
Where's 11 come from?
In the problem up here, it said the 9th term is 11.
Oh.
Right here.
Oh,
And
so you just basically write them. Right.
I'm writing them in the blank formula.
Okay.
And you're going to have to do this, so you're going to need to follow this process. So you solve for d. You've got d. Then you can use either of your other equations to solve for a sub 1. I did this one, and I'm going to put 2 for d. So 11 equals a sub 1 plus 8 times 2. That's 16. You subtract it over here. So a sub 1 is negative 5. It's really just algebra. The 2? Right here. Yeah, that's the common difference. And I'm just plugging into this equation then. How did I get 2? Divide negative 12 into negative 24 right there. Yep. Okay. Question, Thomas? Okay. So, it asks you to plug in a couple of things. What's the first term? That's a sub 1. So negative 5 goes there. What's the difference? 2. What is the recursive formula? Well, a sub 1 is negative 5, and a sub n, you've got the common difference that goes there. So you kind of repeat yourself. Then it says, what's the formula for the nth term? It wants it in terms like this. Negative 5 plus n minus 1 times 2. You couldn't write that formula unless you did this algebra and got d and a sub 1.
I still don't see how you got 5. Where'd that come from?
This 5, this negative 5,
The first term. 5.
this one right here,
Where'd you Oh, yeah. Oh, 11.
I plugged this 2, Thomas, right there for D. And that's right here. I plugged in 2. Yeah, you could use either one. It's like when you had equations with x's and y's in them and you got x, then to get y you plugged it back in. That's all we're doing. All right, now I want you to do one, and I'm going to kind of hide the rest of this. And here's the work. Write that down, and I want to walk around and see how you're doing. The fifth term is negative 22. The 16th term is 55. Fifth term is negative 22. 16th term is 55. So you want to follow exactly this process to get D and A sub 1. And I would expect, if you were doing the work for that, that it would look like that. You would have A sub 5 is this, A sub 16 is this, then substitute for those two and solve the equation. Everybody okay? Anybody have troubles that I need to help you with?
Where's the formula? It's A1 equals 50, AN equals A minus 1 plus 7. Is that the actual formula? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The formula is right here. Negative 50 plus n minus 1 times 7.
So it goes in the A1 box?
A1 is negative 50. The common difference is 7.
Well, I think our pages. No, never mind. Okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You keep me hopping, Thomas. That's okay.
Keep me hopping. That's so nice.
All right. Any questions on that one?